Ready? And then we'll just edit the stuff. All
Yeah.
right. Hello. Thank you for listening to this interview. My name is Brennan, and today I'm sitting here with the wonderful Green Party Mississauga-Erin Mills candidate. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, my name is Michelle Angkasa, and I'm a third-year university student at the University of Waterloo and a long-time resident of Mississauga.
Yeah, nice. Anything you want the listeners to know about you before we get started?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I'm a third-year university student. I am a first-time politician. I've never run for office before, but when this election came around, I felt really compelled to put my name forward because as a young person, as someone who's deeply interested in climate justice and trying to push for a more sustainable and equitable world, this was an opportunity that I couldn't really pass up. And so even though I'm very young and I haven't had experience in politics, I feel like I have the passion and the integrity and the principles to bring a strong voice for this community to Queen's Park.
Nice. So my question for you would be, why did you end up choosing the Green Party?
Yeah, I think the Green Party aligns most with my personal values, especially climate justice. Like, I think climate change is the most pressing, or at least one of the most pressing issues of right now, and especially for my generation. And I've been really frustrated with the way that we have not been taking serious action on this issue. And so that was what initially drew me to the Green Party. But I also really like that they are a progressive and socially responsible party. And I felt like I could have the most impact in a smaller party like the Greens.
What would you say to someone who believes that voting Green is a wasted vote?
Yeah, I have two arguments sort of against strategic voting, but I will say that it is true that the system is kind of flawed and it sort of biases against people who would like to vote for smaller parties and kind of funnels us into this two-party system that we see now that I think really disenfranchises people and makes people disillusioned with the political process. So I will acknowledge right at the front, first past the post needs to be reformed, and I don't believe that it's an appropriate way to give people the voice that they deserve and the government that is representative of our varying interests. So I will say that, if elected, and outside of this, I've always been a proponent of proportional representation. In terms of strategic voting, I think there are two arguments against it. The first thing is, fundamentally, if we don't vote the way we want to, things will never change. And I know there's a lot of inertia, especially on the federal level, because we see, the people who have been in power will always be in power. But that's because we don't vote them out. And I know it's difficult, but that's why I believe you need to vote the way you want to, vote with your conscience, but also tell 5 other people to vote the same way. And then hopefully those people will go and tell more people, and hopefully that will spark some change that will get us the government that we actually want. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that each vote counts. Each vote counts in terms of funding for parties and also for the discourse we have as a society, the media attention each party gets, and the kind of credibility that it's built. So each percentage matters, each vote matters. Even though it might not make a difference maybe in the grand scheme of things and you're looking at the numbers, it matters on a grassroots level. And that's what it takes. It takes the hard work, it takes organizing on the ground, it takes building over time of movement that will eventually lead to real change.
So my final question for you is, what do you offer that the other two candidates for Mississauga-Erin Mills don't offer?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that I am an outsider, and I can assure you I'm not a politician. I'm not in this for fame or clout or money. I'm doing this out of my own free will, and I'm not doing this to get paid. I'm not getting paid for this. And I'm running only because I really care about this community, and I feel like we need more green representation in Queen's Park. And I think you're not going to get the same thing from a Conservative or an NDP. They just don't go, I think, as ambitious as we need, especially on issues of climate action, on housing affordability, and mental health care. And I assure you that if I do get elected, I will work for your interests. Because I'm an outsider, I know what it feels like to be the underdog, and I know what it feels like to be a young person living in this community, and I know what it's like to be racialized and young. And I think those are perspectives that are really valuable and we don't have right now in Queen's Park. So, my pitch is not necessarily to sell myself, but if there's anything you get out of this, please vote. Please do your research, look into your candidates, look into your parties, and vote with your conscience. This election is really, really important, especially now as we're moving out of the pandemic and we're trying to make investments to build a better community. Think seriously about the kind of Ontario and Mississauga you want to live in. No matter what you end up voting, I please implore you to do vote and to do get involved in any way you can.
And before I thank you, I just want to say the importance of voting is really, really understated. There's a reason that so many people fought in the history in the past to get the right to vote, because it matters. Even though if you feel like your vote doesn't change anything, it still does. Going out to vote on all three levels, not just for Prime Minister, not just for Premier, not just for Mayor. You have to vote for all three, because that's the only way we get systemic change that our friend Michelle here was just talking about. So I want to thank Michelle personally for taking the time to do this interview, and I hope you enjoy and I hope you got something out of it. Even if you don't live in Mississauga-Erin Mills, the importance of voting and the importance of youth as well as older people in the community being all together in one and all having our voices heard is really important. Michelle, thank you so much.
Thank you.
No problem.